the first to know in Nsem-Pii TV.
Paul Adom Ochre, lawyer Paul Adom Ochre. Ewo ni Good Evening Ghana show so ena osi obusa Nsem-Pii. Nsem a obusa no nyina ye in reaction to Nsem a Alan Cash ediatu dwa, Nsem a Kyerematen ediatu dwa. Paul Adom Ochre si obusa se hwan omumienu no hwan na e ka nokre. Because Alan Kyerematen grantee interview with Joy or granting an interview with TV3. Now in those interviews, some of what can I say, in his quest to withdraw from the flag bearership race, in his quest to resign from the new Patriotic Party, Ninano, Obiti say Yura, Kyerematen eya way. Dudwana Tautuna say or ye Kufuor boy, Yedikan or nya former president Kufuor boy. Sasa mnanya no kre. Ye toso mienu ne say anamo wo to nyina no an elder of the party bi te say Kyerematen ya we. Anche ena Kyerematen enso any this same join news e ko grant an interview. Kyerematen so say Alan Kyerematen resign from the new Patriotic Party. Nene wakwa akote ne ho a say wo so ye butterfly. They are work independent. Onu Kyerematen oni ho we. It is one of the decisions very shocking to Onu Kyerematen. And the lawyer Paul Adom Ochre say no between Kyerematen and Alan Kyerematen, why na ka no kore? Alan see Mpiani nim. Mpiani say me na me nim the decision taken by Alan. Number 2, lawyer Paul Adom Ochre say or say busa bi wo say one of the reasons Alan Kyerematen cite here enu nti Eman every party no say Emra Boache Jako and afi honorable adan ne mo during the Super Delegates Congress omo tie no. And she say, yeah, and penny for you to one say, and can this same super delegates and some twaba and separate a dynamo and a afe wache jako. But where dear, a quiet say, in the pack a crabby mumu and a conquest of my dream, a jinaso Emma, Yara wache jako, yes, Pano Chano, on co crabby a dynamo. And a lawyer Paul Adom Ochre Subusa say, sir, and the panomi no crasam, who are lunch at F. Hobey. It is an issue that involves these two noble gentlemen. Almost settle everything amicably. Emma, wache jako kraba bontia beka say, we a your party in Nsem. And the party in Nsem there, your party can either right or wrong you. The best biano also often sa na would defend the cause of the party. And the no so no onyanchi chirimu. Yam kwai yenkutie lawyer Paul Adom Ochre. Some salient questions. Yana obisa efa Mpiani ala issues.
Kyerematen spoke to Joy FM's Evans Mensah point of view. I believe it was 3-4 days ago, and he appeared to say that he was unaware that John Kyerematen was going to have a press conference to exit the party and form the Butterfly Party, the movement that is symbolized by a butterfly. Kyerematen appeared to say that he wasn't consulted on that, and that if he had been consulted, he would have probably said, talked him out of it. Here's Kyerematen first, and then we'll show you Alan Kyerematen's surprise reaction when Evans Mensah told him that Kyerematen said something. And first he was surprised that Kyerematen has spoken publicly, and then he was surprised that Kyerematen says he doesn't know about it. Here's Kyerematen first. Have a look.
Did Alan Kyerematen sound you up before he took the decision? I know you were very close to him. You were the one who was there when he was appointed the trade minister under Kufuor. Did he consult you at all? Did you even know about this?
Unfortunately, I wasn't consulted, but I got to know about it before he came out to give his press conference.
Did your good friend, the man you served, the former President J. Kufuor, did he know about this? Was he consulted?
I don't know. I'm not too sure about that. I haven't been in touch with President Kufuor for some time now. But I doubt whether he was consulted about Alan leaving the party.
All right, so you had Wofa Kyerematen, we like to call him Wofa Kojo. You heard Wofa Kojo talking about expressing his innocence, that even though he knew about it, he didn't know that Alan was going to do a press conference, but he got to know about the contents of the press conference before the press conference. But he says he wasn't consulted, that if he had been consulted, he probably would have talked him out. So then Evans Mensah, Joy FM journalist, is now interviewing Alan Kyerematen, and he suggests to him, Evans Mensah himself is surprised that Alan is unaware because this was a big story. So Kojo says that so and so. So it's a big story. I don't know the PR people around Alan, whether they didn't gather all what has been said by important people and prepare him for the interview the day after, because clearly Mr. Kyerematen was unaware that Kojo had spoken at all. He was unaware. So Evans Mensah himself is surprised that Mr. Kyerematen is unaware, and then see Mr. Kyerematen's reaction when he's told and it's confirmed to him that Kojo said that he wasn't consulted by you, that if you had consulted him, he would have said, stay in the party and fight. Have a look.
Was he happy? Must not be happy.
Who is that?
And Kojo yesterday told me that. Kojo told me that this one publicly, so this one I can tell you.
You interviewed him?
Yes, please, I did. And then he said on air that you didn't consult him, but if you did, he would have told you, Kojo Pieni. If you had told him, he would have told you not to stay and fight. Those are his words. He should stay and fight.
I should stay and fight.
Yes, that's what he said.
That is his view. Yeah, he was saying that I should have stayed.
If you had consulted him, he would have told you to stay and fight.
So Kojo Pieni made a public declaration that we did not have a discussion. Is that what you are saying?
Oh, well, on national television, PM Express yesterday, people watched us on air, and I asked him that. He says, you didn't consult him, but if you did, he would have told you to. And I asked him, so why, do you support him? Do you support this issue? He says he's not opposed to it, but he wouldn't support it either. But if he had, but if you have told him, if he would have told you, he would have told you not to stay and fight.
Yeah, but what is the point? Staying
and fight
and fighting.
Yes.
For what purpose? Look, I mean, and I'm sorry. I mean, because I didn't listen to the interview.
Fair enough.
I didn't, so I cannot make a comment on it.
Yeah.
You know.
But I'm just repeating what he has told
But
us.
I'm surprised if you said he made a public statement that we had no discussion on this matter. But that's fine. But I'm saying that I have moved on.
Viewers, so as you can hear, that's Alan Kyerematen over there expressing surprise that Wofa Kojo Pieni says that he didn't know about the decision to leave the party. This Alan Kyerematen saying that he's very, very surprised about it. He's very surprised about it. That's what he's saying. So, I don't know. These are important people. So when you are talking about them, you have to choose your words very carefully. So I don't know. I don't know. Well, I don't know. This is Joy FM's PM Express. Evans then tried to, step on the pedal a little bit and try and press hard into Alan Kyerematen's emotions and his mental relationship with the NPP as it is today. He was talking about discussing Alan Kyerematen's role as a trade minister within the context of the Akufo-Addo government. Have a look. See what happened.
But you were part of a government that made industrialization a priority.
Yes.
That put you in charge of executing what one time you believed to be one of the boldest agendas to industrialize, one district, one factory. So how do you say then that you didn't have enough traction around the vision that you had? That definitely was one that you were in charge of executing.
But Evans, I don't think you are listening to me, or you are listening but you are not understanding what I'm saying. I'm talking about prioritizing the deployment of resources to be able to achieve a certain objective.
But that was a priority for your party, wasn't it?
No, I'm talking about deploying resources. So if that is the priority...
Did they exist in name then? Because you were inside. For us who stood outside and listened to you before... I want to understand, you said it existed in name. The priority that you championed.
Yeah.
The belief we had and what we had.
I championed.
That you championed.
Yes, I championed.
Yes.
So it didn't mean that. You said
you didn't have the resources.
But that's clear. And I'm suggesting to you that if you have a governance structure with different priorities, and because of limited resources, the decision, for example, and arguably that could be one way to proceed. If, for example, we decide to prioritize one sector over the other, well, that's the
one decision
executive decision.
Was a flagship policy
But we had many flagship policies.
Yeah, but was one
yes,
of the flagships,
but
which means that it's been prioritized, and therefore you expect resources to go there.
But I guess you're still not listening to you. I'm saying that if you have a number of flagship programs and you have limited resources, of course, then you deploy the resources based on the type of priority settings that you may have. And I'm saying that one individual may prioritize education above industrialization. Somebody may prioritize digitization above industrialization. Another may prioritize health over, because you have limited resources. So I'm submitting that in my case, although you have all these as priorities and flagship programs, the allocation of resources, which is the basis for achieving optimum levels of growth in a particular sector, if that is what I believe in, then when I occupy the highest level of executive authority, then I can reorder the priorities and deploy resources in a manner that allows me to be able to realize my vision.
I mean, and my question that I've been asking is, because I'm talking to Alan Kyerematen, who has a history in government, what you're suggesting is, now if you get to stand by yourself, then that becomes a sole priority where you put in the resources.
Not sole priority, but
the most important priority, where you put resources. It stands to reason that you're also suggesting that although you were trade minister, you didn't have the required resources.
The required resources to deliver. There's no doubt about that, but this is something that you can easily interrogate. I mean, look at the allocation of resources amongst the flagship programs. It's very easy to verify that, and I mean, obviously.
But that wasn't the picture we got when you were in charge. We got a picture that everything was okay.
But don't talk about the picture that you. I mean, if that's my priority.
And you give us a picture because you were the minister then, that everything was fine. You were executing a project, you had the resources, you were achieving one district, one factory.
But respectfully, I'm not sure that I understand what you are saying. That I gave the impression that I had all the resources.
Yes, you did.
What was the basis of that impression?
Because each time you give us an update on the one district, one factory, never once did you say that, listen, we don't have all the resources to do this in the way that you wanted it to.
When did you engage me in a conversation where this matter came up? How many times have you had an interaction with me? So you cannot make a judgment in a vacuum unless you had specifically had an engagement with me in which, and at any rate, does it require me to make public statements about the decisions that we've taken in budget, in cabinet, about the deployment of resources? Is that appropriate for me to make public pronouncements about the fact that I believe that we should prioritize industrialization?
The commitment to the basic liberal democratic principles perhaps might not be as pure and the same as used to be. Say, even around 92. Now, I don't think that commitment is the same.
The level of commitment to the party?
Not to the party.
But to the ideals, the principles that you upheld then?
I may not say that the way I feel it. I don't sense the same strong commitment. I've likened commitment earlier times to almost a religion. I don't sense that now.
What in your view could have contributed to this? This less commitment that you see to the ideals and principles of the party now as against what was the case in 1992?
Well, I sense there's too much talk about factionalism within the group. If you're talking proper democracy and an inclusive one, you wouldn't emphasize factions. Once the practice of, say, selecting, say, if you like, polling station, organizational committee, or constituency, or national, you wouldn't be so divisive and emphasizing faction. Oh, he belongs to that side, so no cooperation. You do that, you are dividing the force, the numerical force that you need for any democratic practice. See, you vote to pick a leader. There will be contests, there will be rivalries, but the whole idea of democracy is you go, of course, on condition that the electoral field will be level and the process will be truly free and fair. Once you've gone into the contest and the results come out, whether they came in your favor or against, you close ranks and you follow the winner, free and fair.